Good morning. How the devil are you doing this fine day? Me? Well, you find me this morning whistling a merry tune and wearing my hat at a jaunty angle. Thanks for asking. It's another busy show today. So let's roll that intro and get this show on the road. Welcome to the Breakfast Show. I'm your host, Mark Anthony. It's Tuesday, the 19th of October, and as that remarkably persistent guy just said, welcome to the Breakfast Show. I am your host, Mark Anthony. In today's show, is there a scrap storm brewing? End of an era at Hazelwood Power Station down under? What is the opposite of Turkish delight? And as low-carbon homes get the green light, does that mean a red light for demolition? We'll get to all that in just a second. But first, let's see who among the rich and the shameless will be celebrating a birthday on this day of days.
Happy birthday!
And it's many happy returns to Professor Dumbledore himself, actor Michael Gambon, to reggae star Peter Tosh, and to thankfully former West Ham manager Sam Allardyce, to Madness drummer Woody, and to movie director Jon Favreau. But far more importantly, happy birthday to Evander the Real Deal Holyfield, a man who went toe-to-toe with Mike Tyson and has the scars and half an ear to prove it. Many happy returns to them, one and all. You know that old adage, if the figures on the graph are up and to the right, I'm happy. Well, what do you make of this? That is the price of iron ore. That's pretty much as we're speaking right now. And as you can see, there's been a huge decline in the price since the summer. So why am I showing you this? After all, we are in the demolition and construction industry. We're not commodities traders. The reason I'm sharing this is because of A, the background to it, and B, the potential impact upon the demolition sector. And a huge amount of that impact originates in China. There is currently a huge debt crisis amongst Chinese property firms at present, which in turn has undermined confidence in the industrial metals markets. At the same time, China, like many other parts of the world, is suffering a power shortage that is set to continue into the cold winter months. That has led to production curbs. I hope you're keeping up with that. Yeah, that's led to production curbs. As a result, it is now reported that more than 80% of China's domestic steel mills have temporarily suspended. Let me do that again. As a result, it is now reported that more than 80% of China's domestic steel mills have temporarily suspended operations. Ironically, all of this comes just a few months after Chinese authorities announced plans to increase its use of steel scrap by 23% to 320 million tonnes by the year 2025. At that time, those involved in the production of scrap steel, including demolition contractors, would have been rubbing their hands together, particularly those involved in the scrap-heavy business of power station demolition. Now, in truth, a lot of the power stations that have fallen recently here in the UK, so Eggborough, Ironbridge, Fawley, among others, will have been priced years ago. And what arrangements were made in terms of the monies won for the scrap steel will vary from project to project. Those will likely have been fixed some time ago. But regardless of whether the demolition contractor or the client stood to benefit and to what degree, if that near 50% fall in iron ore prices is reflected in the price of scrap steel, as some are now predicting, that's going to be pretty damn painful for all concerned. All of which goes to show that the modern demolition industry in which we now operate is very much a changed environment. An energy crisis that originated at least partly in Russia has had a knock-on effect in China, and that could potentially impact upon the profitability of a power station demolition in Yorkshire. It's a funny old world, isn't it?
The Miller GT series heralds a new era of unrivaled power and cutting-edge intelligent coupler technology, increasing job site safety, machine versatility, and productivity. It's the added versatility that you need at the value you can afford. To find out more, Visit millergroundbreaking.com.
Those of a nervous disposition might want to look away now. I was sent a video from Turkey yesterday, and it is the very stuff of health and safety nightmares. I apologise for the fact that it's a vertical format video, which doesn't really suit this screen well, but I thought I'd better share it with you just in case anyway. Take a look at this. What I find remarkable about that, aside from the obviously sketchy demolition method, is the fact that the locals are just going about their business. None of them even flinched when the tower fell. Can you remember the last time I produced one of these shows without mentioning the word carbon? Nope, me either. And I'm not done yet. So yesterday it was announced that all 33 of London's local authorities had signed up to a route map that would require the retrofitting of some 3.8 million homes to achieve a net zero rating by 2030. This coincides with the release of a new guidance for developers in the capital that is aimed at making London a net zero city within the next decade. The guidance requires developers to monitor and report the operational energy performance of major developments for at least 5 years post-construction. London Mayor Sadiq Khan sees this as a critical step in moving to net zero carbon buildings. I'm committed to delivering a brighter future for London, one that's greener, fairer, and more prosperous for everyone, he says. All of which is just dandy. I'd like to think I'm as green as the next guy. And if I were a construction company that found itself in the eye of the green refurbishment storm, I'm pretty sure I'd be ordering my Ferrari right about now. But here's the thing. There was a time not so long ago when a building or a home falling short of current standards might have faced demolition and subsequent replacement. That would probably not apply to all these 3.8 million homes detailed in the net zero route map, but it would probably have applied to at least some. But now, as the global focus shifts towards the preservation of carbon, there is a very real possibility that a lot of replacement will now give way to refurbishment. That looks set to impact upon London and upon its London demolition contractors. But if that trend takes hold in the nation's capital, and it's highly likely that the rest of the country will follow suit. Just a few hours ago, the joint teams of Alford Group from the UK and Delta Group from Australia carried out the final explosive demolition at the Hazelwood Power Station in Australia. The implosion you're about to see marks the end of an extensive demolition programme that has seen the explosive demolition of 8 large chimneys, 4 boiler houses and a range of mining equipment. You can see all of that over on demolitionnews.com should you so desire. So stand by for the end of an era. Congratulations to everyone involved in that magnificent, well, that latest blast, but also all the blasts that have come before it. Fantastic job.
Axsoft and Svantec are your high-end partners for noise, vibration, dust and air quality systems, sensors and software. To find out more, visit axsoft.co.uk or call 01234 639 550.
Okay, I have some exciting news for you. Thursday's show is going to be different. Very different, in fact. We will likely forego the celebrity birthdays and the other such nonsense because, all things being equal, I will be joined on the show by none other than Howard Button, CEO of the NFDC and the NDTG. In the aftermath of our recent survey on the amount of experience required before someone is considered suitable to apply for a demolition supervisor card, there's been a lot of online criticism of the various competence card schemes. And it's to his enormous credit that Howard Button has agreed to join me on the show to address that criticism. I'm hoping to be able to tell you more tomorrow when I've confirmed things with the good Mr. Button. But if you have any specific questions relating to demolition training, then fire them over. Or better still, make sure you're watching on Thursday so you can ask them yourself.
Sorry to interrupt the guy with the funny glasses, but if you're enjoying this video, please hit the like button as it helps our channel. Or, better still, share this video with a friend or a colleague. Thank you. Right, back to Beardy.
Just one final thing before I go. Just before I came on air, I received the news that JCB has officially taken the wraps off a new hydrogen-powered prototype load-all telescopic handler. The new machine was unveiled at an event in London that was attended by Prime Minister Boris Johnson, although obviously that isn't Boris Johnson, that's Lord Bamford. JCB is scheduled to show off its hydrogen technology in Glasgow at the long-awaited COP26 climate conference at the end of this month. So we'll be bringing you more news, I'm sure, when we receive it. That pretty much wraps up the show for today. I'll roll the outro in just a second before jumping gazelle-like over into the chat to see what you're all saying today. I'll be back here tomorrow morning, same time, same place, for more of this old stuff and nonsense. But until then, stay safe, look after yourself, your family, your friends, and your colleagues, and thanks for watching.